So, a lot of players in Grand Theft Auto Online, they tend to regret what they buy, whether that be like, I don't know, like the bunker in Paleto Bay, or maybe the most expensive office in the game when it's not really necessary, or like the most expensive apartment or whatever. But most of the buyer's remorse really comes from like vehicles because you spend like millions of dollars buying it and customizing it, just realize that it sucks. And I just want to make this video to like not necessarily warn people, not just that is one of my intentions, but also to kind of rant because I have bought at least one of these vehicles. A disclaimer for this video: I have not bought all of the vehicles on this list, and these are not all the vehicles I hate in this game because there are quite a few, but the majority of the vehicles I don't like in this game are usually like cars, like regular like civilian cars, like you can buy off Legendary Motorsports or Southern San Andreas Auto, and that's more like a subjective taste. So like the majority of the community might like the car, but I just don't like it for my taste or preference. But I believe that these vehicles that I chose for this list, I believe that like everybody is like universally just hates. So I just want to go ahead and just get into it actually. So number 5 on the list would have to be the Kurtz 31 patrol boat. Now, it looks cool, don't get me wrong, it's pretty high on the list, but it's also relatively expensive. The trade price being 2.2 million and the buy it now price being like $50,000 away from $3 million for a boat. And this boat, it's not armored. One explosion can take this thing out. I mean, it is cool to like drive around with friends, I guess. I mean, I understand what they were doing with the Kyle Perico update. They wanted to give you like a whole like, Soviet military vibe. So they gave us like, they gave us a submarine. There's that. So it's kind of like a naval vehicle, I guess. But like, it serves no purpose because nobody actually goes out in the ocean like that in GTA. And this has like, the only thing I can see is protecting you from is from like other players on boats. But granted, the majority of players in Grand Theft Auto Online, if they wanted to come after you while you're on a boat, they either go on an oppressor, attack helicopter, or a fighter jet. So this is like totally not necessary. It is cool to have, but honestly, don't be expecting it to be protecting you from oppressors or fighter jets or anything like that. And for a price of almost $3 million for the buy it now price, no, that's way too expensive. I'm thinking this would be worth like 800,000 to like at most 1.5 million. But almost $3 million for the buy it now price is asking for way too much. Number 4 on my list, I don't know the buy it now price. I believe it's like 3.4 million, I believe. I'm not entirely sure because I did use this for a approach for the Kyle Perico heist. This is a decent approach vehicle for the Kyle Perico heist. Like if you don't want to rinse and repeat the whole drain tunnel or airfield approach, this is like your best bet because it is pretty fun to use like the rappel to like for the night ops approach. But other than that, there's no value for this vehicle. Like, it does take some damage from explosions, but honestly, if you want a stealth helicopter, the Akula is 10 times better. The Akula has better defensive capabilities because the Akula has bombs, rockets, machine guns. It can go off radar. And it has machine guns, which are like really shitty unless you're like really good with it, and off radar. Other than that, it has no real defensive capabilities, so I would not recommend buying this. Especially for like over $3 million for like an attack helicopter. It's not worth it in my book because this is not worth it at all. Like I said, if you want a stealth helicopter, your best bet is going to be the Akula. This one right here, this is a really, really old vehicle. Like this came out with a flight update, the flight school update. I forgot what the update was called. It was like the update either before or after the last team standing update. The flight update, flight school update. I forgot. It's like that's how irrelevant that update was for me. And this is being said for all the planes from the flight school update, not just this plane in particular. All this plane has is that it's fast. Like the flight school update, you would think, GTA, they add more fighter jets, but they really didn't. And it's not a good vehicle. Like, it looks cool. I'll give it that. It looks cool. You'd think this would be like a fighter jet, but it's not. It's essentially a overpriced stunt plane for 1.1 million. That's really pushing it. You know, I would think I would pay like maybe 400K for this, but I like no, I never see any player like fly around in this, and you can't customize them either. These are all like Pegasus vehicles, so there's that. So like you can't even like customize it at the very least, make it your own style. But yeah, all this is just like a glorified stunt plane. And back in the day when this came out in 2014 for 1.1 million dollars, that was a lot. Like that was really pushing it. Like, and it doesn't do anything. It has no bombs on it, no rockets, no guns. You just fly in it. That's all it is, and it's just not. I don't know. I don't see why anybody would buy this in GTA Online unless you're like really into planes. Then I don't see why anybody would buy this. Number two on this list. This one to me as a Kanye West fan was a real disappointment, because like we all know, as a Kanye fan, we all know what this is. This is a Jesus tank, you know, like from the Follow God music video, and it looks cool. Like it's like, it's cool, you know. I don't know. I'm biased because you know I'm a Kanye fan, but no, for $2.4 million for the buy it now price, no, because it takes like two rockets, which is cool, I guess, but like what like why? Like, I mean, I guess because it takes two rockets, it takes more rockets to blow up than the Vigilante, the Batmobile. So by default, does that mean that Kanye West is more overpowered than Batman? Who knows? But it's relatively like it's just a dumb vehicle. It's really hard to drive, especially at high speeds. And once you get turned on your side, it's relatively really hard to turn it back over. It feels like you're driving like a car from GTA 4 when you drive this. There's no defensive capabilities, really, or offensive capabilities, I should say. And the trade price, 1.8 million, still isn't worth it to me, because you have to do the whole casino heist setup, and I believe this is a high-end vehicle for the casino heist, so you gotta pay somebody 10% just to source this vehicle. And this is a terrible getaway vehicle. I don't know who the hell will be driving away with the cops for this vehicle, because you can barely drive this car like in free roam when you're being chased by other players, let alone having a 5-star wanted level. So like, I do not recommend buying this vehicle unless you're like a really big fan of Kanye West, or unless you're like really big on like the memes or whatever, then go for it. But it's a harmless vehicle, you know. I don't see any harm actually buying it, but it's just a very, very dumb vehicle, and I'm not saying it shouldn't be in the game, but like, I just don't think it should be that expensive. That $2.4 million with buy it now price, yeah, that's just ridiculous. And this, oh my god, I hate this car, the Menacer. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Oh my god. So I have a story behind the Menacer. Okay, so I remember back in like 2019 when I started playing Grand Theft Auto Online again. I was like, oh, this looks cool. It has dual 50 cal guns at the front, so I can fire it while I'm driving, and my friend could be at the gunner, like on the top, right? So this is probably overpowered. And with my logic thinking, I'm like, oh, it's also more expensive than the Night Shark. It's also more expensive than the Insurgent Pickup Custom, because those are both like $1.3 million, and this is like 1.7 million. So I was under the assumption, oh yeah, this is pretty well armored. This is pretty cool. Yeah, I was completely wrong. Not only does the armor suck, the 50 cal miniguns at the front of on the bumper, they can't aim for shit, because like they're so low to the ground, you can't really aim at the actual players. Unlike the Night Shark, where the Night Shark it basically auto locks onto the driver. And the mounted gun, it's pretty bad. Like, it's not terrible, but like it can be better. And for a price of $1.7 million, you'd think it'd be better than the Night Shark and the Insurgent Pickup Custom, but it's not. It's actually worse. So I don't know what Rockstar is thinking pricing it that high. Like, I mean, it has cool customizations, but granted, they're all locked behind research, so there's that. But I hate this car, man. I hate it, because I remember back in the day, I would use this car for headhunter missions, because I didn't have an oppressor at the time, so I would use this for headhunter missions, and like it's so slow. It maxes out at maybe 80 miles per hour. That's really slow for a vehicle like this, considering the Night Shark can go like 120 miles per hour. Same with the Insurgent, I believe. It's such a terrible vehicle, and it doesn't have any really good defensive capabilities. Like it can probably get blown up by, I want to say, 5 rockets. So there's that. It's really not worth your time getting. Like, I have $30 million. Once I realized how shitty this vehicle was, I'm like, yep, I'm selling it. I didn't get my money back, obviously, but like I was like, yep, I'm selling this. I hate this vehicle. Fuck this, and I sold it. Because the reason why, how I found out it was shitty, is because my friend bought the Night Shark, and I test drove his Night Shark to see how it was, and I loved the Night Shark. It was fast. It had great defensive capabilities. It had great machine guns on it. So I'm just over here thinking, like, what the fuck was I thinking buying the Menacer? So I sold the Menacer like that same day. Like I was in denial at first. Like, no, there's no way this is better. This is better than the Menacer. The Menacer is more expensive. How's it better? But it was like 10 times better, blowing it out the fucking water. So I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm selling my Menacer. I hate this fucking vehicle. I never want to buy this shit again. I won't even buy it for a review. Like I'm never gonna buy this again unless they buff it in the future, which I doubt. But yeah, that's pretty much the list. I actually want to go over a few honorable mentions. No, don't want to get in too much details about those vehicles, but they didn't make it on the list. So they're not that terrible, but they did make it to the honorable mentions. So make of that what you will. All right, honorable mention number 1 would have to be the Ultralight. The Ultralight, the reason why I made honorable mention, it's pretty bad, but it's also pretty fun to use. It is relatively cheap for like $500,000, so there's that. It's not expensive by any means. I mean, granted, you do need a hanger for this. This is not a Pegasus vehicle, so you do need a hanger, and hangers starting price are like $1 million. So there's that, and also you can customize this. So you can make it. There's a lot of little liveries you can use for the wings, for the kite, or whatever you want to call it. It's essentially a kite bike. I believe that's a term of it. You can just it's a cool little bike, and it also comes with a machine gun, a 50 cal machine gun, I believe it is. I mean, that's really useless. I don't know. It's not useless per se, but it's like what can I do with that? If a attack helicopter, if someone pulls up on me in a Savage and I'm flying around in the ultralight bike, what can I do with that? But for $500,000, knock yourself out. I remember back in 2020, they gave this away for free for like a week. So a lot of people got this for free. But if you haven't gotten it yet, I'm not saying don't buy it, but it's your choice. It's don't be expecting to be like getting kills with this. It's not really a combatant vehicle, even though it does have a machine gun. It's a fun vehicle to fly. That's all I really got to say about it. Really, that's why I made on honorable mentions. It's not inherently bad, but I mixed feelings about this one. Last vehicle on this list would have to be the Dune FAV. Now, if you have the GTA Premium Edition, you can get this for free. That's how I got mine for free. I just got it just to get it because I thought it was somewhat decent, but it's really not. But granted, I can't complain because it's free. But it's I don't know. It's not a Pegasus vehicle. You do have to store it somewhere, so it does take up some garage space. But it's not that great. Like, it's cool to drive around in, and there's the mission that comes with the mission that you get the trade price if you don't have the GTA Premium Online Edition, whatever. The mission for this vehicle to get the trade price is relatively fun, but it's not that great. Like, you can't really defend yourself in this vehicle, like, unless you have a friend with you. As you can see at the passenger seat, it has a 50 cal machine gun. And you can, I believe, if you unlock some research from your bunker, you can actually change a 50 cal minigun to a 50 cal machine gun into a minigun. Excuse me. And you can also drop landmines, proximity mines. You can drop proximity mines with it, but granted, you need to do research to do that. You can't just buy it off the jump. And it's not a bad. It's a bad vehicle. It's super bad. Granted, if this was not free with the criminal starter pack, premium edition, whatever, I would be like, you know what? this belongs on the list. But just because it's free for the Criminal Starter Pack GTA Premium Online Edition, that's a mouthful, I would say, you know what, just because it's free, it gets honorable mention. So do I recommend buying this? No, do not waste your money. I'm not sure how expensive it is, but if you have the free version of it with the Criminal Starter Pack Online Premium BS, go ahead and get it. You may as well at least test it out for yourself, come to your own conclusion. But coming from me, yeah, this is terrible. This is a terrible vehicle. This is just awful. Like, I don't even know why Rockstar added it. Like, it's just terrible. Thank you guys for watching. I did have fun making this video. I'd have fun ranting about these crappy vehicles, you know. I feel like not enough people like rag on these vehicles as much as they should. And yeah, I had fun filming this. So with all that out of the way, like the video if you liked it. Comment if you can think of any other vehicle that belongs on this list. Maybe I'll make a part 2 to this, who knows? Or maybe I'll make a best vehicles in GTA Online, who knows? But yeah, with all that out of the way, like the video if you liked it. Comment, you know, your opinions or whatever. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.